So, new tonight, Kevin Hart is apologizing. He actually said he apologized and he said, "I'm sorry." Last week, Hart appeared on Ellen, on the Ellen Show, where he talked about how he was sorry and wanted to move on from old homophobic jokes and tweets of his. He told Ellen that he had addressed these jokes in the past. But we and others couldn't find any previous apologies, just what he said, that he had addressed them and what some saw as excuses. And on Friday, I talked about how Kevin could turn the situation around and step up as an ally for people in the LGBT community. Watch this. Many of us really need to keep the conversation going. It's life or death. And someone like Kevin Hart, with one of the biggest megaphones in the world, can be a leader, the ultimate change agent. He can help change homophobia in the black community, something Kevin's old Twitter jokes addressed, but in the wrong way. So, and before I go on with any of this, this is not coming, I'm not coming for Kevin, okay? This is just, we're trying to learn and have a dialogue and a conversation here, because when talking about this story on this program, I asked Kevin to reach out to me. And guess what? Over the weekend, he did. He called me. We spoke at length. We spoke for over an hour, and then we talked after that, and we texted or whatever. But it was mostly an off-the-record conversation because I wanted him to be honest with me, and I just wanted us to just talk to each other and to listen. So as a journalist, I have to abide by that, but I can't say specifically what we talked about, but I can speak in some generalities. That was our agreement, okay? So I'm not going to tell you specifically exactly what he said, but I can tell you about the overall tone of the conversation and some of the issues that we covered, okay? And that, again, that was our agreement, so he knows that I'm going to talk about this. So I'm not going to make excuses for Kevin, but I just want to explain to you where he is coming from. And what he said tonight on his Sirius XM show will help me do that. Listen.
I understand why people are hurt. I understand what these words mean. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I said it again when I stepped down. I apologize. I wrote it. I said it. Right? I know I did. These weren't words that I said to gay individuals. This is wrong now, because now we're in a space where I'm around people of the LGBTQ community, and I'm now aware of how these words make them feel and why they say that shit hurt because of what I've been through. So then we say, hey man, as a group, let's erase this shit. We don't talk like this no more. Hey, let's not do this. We don't post shit on social media, and more importantly, within my comedy act, I'm gonna make sure that I don't do anything else offensive.
Look, you may not like the way he said it, or whatever, but he said it there. He did say, "I'm sorry, I apologize, we shouldn't be doing this." He says that he understands why his words hurt and what they mean. I get it. Look, I get it. Many people grow up in situations where they might not come in contact with someone who is openly part of the LGBT community. But trust me, you come in contact with people who are gay, they just don't tell you. And part of the reason they don't is because they fear the backlash and the stigma and what people will think of them or say about them, or they'll be ostracized. Or people grow up hearing that it is wrong or sinful to be gay or transgender. And sometimes it's a tough lesson. But a lot of people learn that what you can and cannot say about someone who is LGBT, that it can be hurtful. I got to be honest. If Kevin means what he says, what he said on that radio show right there, then he is learning that lesson. In that commentary, he said he's not homophobic. This is what I wanted to get across to Kevin, okay, even in our conversations, that there are levels to homophobia, just like there are levels to racism. You can be, you don't always have to be the starkest example of what it means to be racist or what it means to be homophobic, or you don't have to be homophobic to make homophobic statements, right? Even as a gay person, I have to check my own level or my internal homophobia sometimes. What I think about people, I'm, if anything, honest and real. Sometimes with people who are, I remember when I was coming out, people who are effeminate, We had a learning curve when it comes to, still do, when it comes to members of the transgender community, my transgender brothers and sisters. And that community said, you need to check your own internal homophobia, and I did, and they were right. So even as a gay person, there you can be part of something. Jokes or tweets, well, you know, that is a different thing. So sometimes a joke is just a joke, but as I said last week, they can also be harmful and dangerous. So later on in this show, Kevin talked about my challenge for him to become an ally. Listen to this.
I don't like the forcing. I don't like Don Lemon goes on CNN and he's like, you can fix this, become an ally. That's not my life dream. Kevin Hart apologizes for his remarks that hurt members of the LGBTQ community. I apologize. I'm now moving on from this because I'm just hoping that the apology is accepted. If it's chosen not to be accepted, I can't control that. If your fight is for equality, then you need to understand that change is what helps that. You can't get what you want without understanding and accepting the change.
Okay, there's a lot there, and I don't have that much show left. So I'll just say that he is sorry. He said, but it is not his dream to be an ally for the LGBT community. Now, you can take that however you want. You can be upset by it, however you want to feel. But that is his right. Whether I like it or not, whether you like it or not, that is his right. If he doesn't want to be an ally, if he doesn't want to be a spokesperson for the gay community, he does not have to do that. It's his choice as an American, a person with agency. He can do that. And then you can feel about it however you want. So, listen, there's been a lot of blowback. Kevin backed out of hosting the Oscars, and on some level, you can understand for him that it may feel like he's under attack, right? Because he's in the middle of it. But I will tell you, for me, as I relate to him, and I can talk about my part, he's not a victim. So listen to what he's saying there. He wants to be accepted. He wants us to accept him. He wants to be embraced on his own merits. Isn't that what the LGBT community wants? Isn't that the same thing that they were asking for, to be embraced on their own merits and not be stereotyped and stigmatized? So maybe, right, and an olive branch in an effort to understand, right? Remember, we want to talk and try to understand. Doesn't mean that we're making excuses. It just means that we're allowing people room and so we can have an honest conversation. So maybe he now knows just a little bit more of what that feels like. Even if it's misguided, or however you feel about it, now he knows a little bit what that feels like. The LGBT community, which I am a part of, can and should hold people with large megaphones to account. Right? We should do that. But if we don't want to be bullied, we can't be bullies. You don't want to turn into what you're fighting against. So hold them to account, call them out, but you don't want to bully people. So that's just, listen, I may get a lot of blowback for that, but I'm just being honest. It's important to me, for Kevin and other people to know that, when you feel like you're being bullied, or you may feel like communities are going hard, like the black community goes hard sometimes, gay community goes hard sometimes, marginalized communities are so passionate about issues like this because it really is about life or death, mere survival. So understand that part. Sometimes people are going hard because they've been frustrated and they've been marginalized for so long that it hurts. In 2017, the latest year that we have data for 52 LGBTQ people from, 52 LGBTQ people in the U.S. were killed as a result of hate violence, an 86% increase from 2016. That's according to a report by the National Coalition of Anti-Violence Programs. Doesn't mean that you're putting Kevin on that level or anyone, but those comments certainly, the old stuff I'm saying, certainly don't help. The new way, if what you're saying is true, that helps. I did ask Kevin, by the way, to come on the show to talk multiple times, many times during our conversations, texting him, but he said he's not interested. So he's not interested. So tonight, he spoke out on his radio show, and it seems like that he just wants to leave it at that. I do know that he has a movie coming out he's going to promote, so he will probably go on entertainment shows to talk about the movie, and maybe he just didn't want to go there. I don't know. Maybe you're scared, Kevin. Are you scared of me? Don't be scared. Come on, I'm not going to be mean. I know he's not going to like that. From what I heard and what you may have heard, now I've heard, Kevin is sorry for what he said. He says he understands how it hurt, but he's not here to be an ally. Okay? So we have to march on without him. Glad he apologized. So we'll be right back.